This program is made possible in part by the Ellis Family Foundation, promoting downtown revitalization through the historic restoration of the General Francis Marion Hotel. TEDS, providing workforce effectiveness solutions. The Bank of Marion, helping you achieve your financial goals and dreams since 1874, serving you through 15 community locations. And by Burwell Construction Company, serving the construction needs of Southwest Virginia for over 40 years. Additional support provided by grants from the Virginia Tobacco Indemnification and Community Revitalization Commission and the Appalachian Regional Commission.
Welcome to Song of the Mountains. I'm Tim White. We're in Marion, Virginia's historic Lincoln Theater, situated smack in the middle of where country music began. Now, it was nearly 80 years ago, in fact, specifically the summer of 1927, when the event that Johnny Cash called the most important event in the history of country music occurred. A 35-year-old record producer was contracted by New Jersey's Victor Talking Machine Company to travel to America's Southland to scout out and record musical talent. Now, when he stopped in nearby Bristol, Tennessee in July of that year, he spent 10 days recording 19 different groups, a cross-section of rural American mountain music. And that event became known as the Bristol Sessions, and the impact was global. Tonight we'll bring you two groups who give us a taste of how much talent has been discovered here in the birthplace of country music. The McPeak Brothers have been favorites of bluegrass fans for over 40 years and will perform for you on the stage of the Lincoln this evening. But first, a band equally talented at performing slow ballads or hard-driving bluegrass, multi-award winners, including twice being named as top bluegrass band at the Galax Fiddlers Convention in Galax, Virginia. Tonight on Song of the Mountains, Fescue takes us in harmony with the hills.
I tried. of the old lonesome pine.
I wonder if it's raining in the mountains. I wonder how the old town looks today, and if the church is there beside the river. Could I go back and find where Mama lay? Does life still go to sleep just after sunset? Are the berries still as big on the vine? Do old men sit and talk about the old days, the way they did in 1949? Ho, 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 how I'd like to be back in the hills of Tennessee. Ho, 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 it would be so fine if I could just go back to 1949. I wonder if by chance they might remember a teenage boy so wild and fancy-free, who always loved guitars and country music. If I went back, would they remember me? I wonder what became of Catherine Akers, the girl who broke my heart at 17. I barely can remember what she looked like. But 30 years ago she was my dream. Oh, 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 how I'd like to be back in the hills of Tennessee. Oh, 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 it would be so fine if I could just go back to 1949. For many years I've searched the wide world over for what I don't recall and I didn't find. And now I'm searching pictures in my memory for Tennessee in 1949. Oh, 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 how I'd like to be back in the hills of Tennessee. Oh, 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 it would be so fine if I could just go back to 1949. If I could just go back to 1949. Thank you. Thank you.
I work at Marion Correctional Treatment Center. It's a maximum security correctional facility as well as being a certified mental health hospital. We deal with inmates from throughout the state that have behavioral or mental problems and need treatment. I'm an institutional training officer. I train all the staff here and from various units around the region.
I'm a jeweler, a watchmaker / jeweler. Grew up in the jewelry business. My father grew up in the jewelry business, so I naturally followed his footsteps, learned to fix watches, and repair jewelry at an early age. Well, the banjo is just a widely known bluegrass instrument. It's part of the bluegrass sound. I can't really remember not playing the banjo. It's just something that I do. I just grew up with it, and I've always enjoyed it.
I am Raymond Campbell. My job is dairy farming and beef farming, and my love is singing. I'd rather sing a good harmony than anything. That's my life. That's my stress relief for the farms, what that is.
My day job is I work at Grayson Highlands State Park as a park ranger, and I'm a park ranger over the maintenance. So I take care of the grounds and supervise the seasonal staff, make sure the mowing gets done and everything gets cleaned. And it's real nice working here, beautiful place to work, and don't have a lot of traffic, you know, and everybody that comes sees the park really appreciates it for its beauty and takes care of it as much as we do.
My name is Garnett Lester, and I'm a commercial banker with a small hometown bank over in Richlands, Virginia. Yeah, I was playing bluegrass before I was a banker. You don't hear that many bankers playing, but just old habits die hard, I guess. So been playing bluegrass all in all probably 15 years and been banking for about 8. So it's a hard habit to get out of, I guess.
There are stars in the southern sky, and if ever you decide you should go.
Your traditional bands play more of the older bluegrass. They don't divvy out into new songs. Sometimes the layout of the music and how it's performed is a little bit different. We may take a rock and roll song and turn it bluegrass and completely redo it. And we have done that and recorded several songs like that.
We just enjoy it a lot and just put our emotion into it, you know, and play it the only way we know how.
It's just good harmony and good pickings, all I can tell you.
I was walking one day down an old country road, no particular place that I had to go. Then I heard a voice softly say, "Come unto me." So I made me an altar by that old broken tree. What a wonderful time, what a wonderful time I'll have up in glory, I'll have up in glory, when all of my loved ones I'll see, loved see. And to think it all started, just to think it all started, with me down on my knees, with me down on my knees, making an altar, by that old broken tree, by that old broken tree. I looked up to heaven, said, Lord, set me free from the bondage of Satan. I'm begging of thee. Then I heard his voice softly say, son, you are free. My life changed forever by that old broken tree. What a wonderful time, what a wonderful time, I'll have up in glory, I'll have up in glory, when all of my loved ones I'll see, loved ones I'll see. And to think it all started, just to think it all started, with me down on my knees, with me down on my knees, by the altar I made, by the altar I made, by that old broken tree. What a wonderful time, what a wonderful time, I'll have up in glory, I'll have up in glory, when all of my loved ones I'll see, loved ones I'll see. And to think it all started, just to think it all started, with me down on my knees, with me down on my knees, by the altar I made, by the altar I made, by that old broken tree. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boys, and God, I know I'm one.
Fescue, 5 incredibly talented musicians very much in harmony with the hills. Up next, the McPeak Brothers. But first, a brief look at the place where all this is happening, a small town in southwestern Virginia that has rallied around the rebuilding and rebirth of a classic theater. Marion's Lincoln Theater has gone from showplace to disrepair and back to showplace. It's a remarkable story.
The Lincoln Theater was built in 1929 by a man named Charles Lincoln, who was a native of Marion. He owned the local furniture factory. He wanted to build not just a theater for his hometown, but an actual showplace.
He traveled a lot, particularly in the Northeast, and he saw a theater in New York that, when he came back from that visit, decided that that's what this theater needed to look like. And so he contracted with a scenic design studio in New York to provide the decoration for the theater.
This theater, being constructed in 1928, 1929, was a Mayan, I guess you would say, a recreation of a Mayan temple. And to me, that was incredibly fun because it actually brought a part of the world into a region of the United States that the people here were probably not very familiar with that culture. And I think that's absolutely fascinating. The part of the theater that I think was most important actually was the stage area, because you had the background of the, as you would say, savagery. In those days they would term that, while we know the Mayan culture is very sophisticated these days. In 1929 it was considered almost a barbaric culture. And then you had the front stage area, which was the looking forward to the future. And so this whole place was built around really the concept of from savagery to barbarism through literacy. And the main screen area was the tool of literacy of the time, if you think about it, because movie theaters were not common in this area, and that was a very important tool to teach people how, about the world itself.
When the theater opened in 1929, it was a cinema. And you have to remember that that was a new thing. It was referred to in the historical accounts that I have read from that period as a talking picture palace. Part of that, of course, had to do with the very ornate design that you see here. And part of it was just that was a new medium. Many people saw their first movie here. If you look around the theater, you will see mythical creatures, animals, a motif that was really a part of the Art Deco movement at that time, that things were very ornate, very elaborate. You will also see that there is another kind of art here that is quite different from the Mayan motif. There are 6 large mural paintings. These murals were painted by a Smith County woman named Lola Poston. They reflect historical paintings that were popular, well-known at that time. We have Daniel Boone here, we have Columbus, we have Robert E. Lee, we have Cornwallis. In addition to those 2, there are also 2 murals which are quite specific to the region. One celebrates the cattle industry within Smith County, and the other looks at the industrial contributions within Smith County. There's a mill and water power. But these murals are quite fabulous, to be honest.
Theater restoration is really our community's heart. I mean, the incredible incarnate painting of the Mayan symbols and the mask and so forth was done by 50, 60 volunteers from our community that never painted anything like that in their entire life. As we were building the theater, we could not afford professional artistic painters to do this renovation of all this fine Mayan art. And it was really done by volunteers, and it's incredible to look at it. And it's probably the most powerful part of the story is to see a community come together in any part of the world and believe in itself and have a rise in its self-esteem. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Up next, 3 incredibly talented performers who have been together pleasing bluegrass and gospel audiences for over 4 decades, and they're brothers to boot. Next on Song of the Mountains, the McPeak Brothers.
and it still is taken away. The one thing I guess I can say has been the best part of my life now for a while. Wouldn't take no bus, wouldn't catch no plane, had to get on that southbound train. Carolina, home has called her name. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky. Gonna be hard times when you're gone. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky from now on. So still, all alone in Louisville, heartaches coming by hour after hour. Well, there ain't no way I can beat this pain with the driving wheels of that southbound train. Carolina, home has called her name. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky. Gonna be hard times when you're gone. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky from now on. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky. Gonna be hard times when you're gone. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky from now on. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky. Gonna be hard times when you're gone. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky. Gonna be hard times in Kentucky from now on. Saw your picture in the paper, and I see you married, and I know that he can't give you all the things I never could, but you know that he won't give you what you need most of all. Well, the door is always open, and the lights on in the hall. Yes, the door is always open, and the lights on in the hall. And you know that I'll be waiting when you finally come to call. On that mansion, and you're lying in his bed, and you beg for his attention. Will you think of me instead? And when he reaches out to touch you, will your face turn toward the wall? Well, the door is always open, and the lights on in the hall. Yes, the door is always open, and the lights on in the hall. And you know that I'll be waiting when you finally come home. Yes, the door is always open, Thank you very much.
A pathway of teardrops will show you the way. If you ever wanna come back to me, you know, dear, that I've cried both night and day since you told me you'd never be free. I loved you so, still I'll let you go. Now I'm sending this message to you. A pathway of teardrops will show you the way. If you ever wanna come back to me. I loved you so, still I'll let you go. Now I'm sending this message to you. A pathway of teardrops will show you the way. If you ever wanna come back to me. If you ever wanna come back to me.
Thank you.
When I was but a young man, I was wild and full of fire. Youth within my teens, but full of challenge and desire. I ran away from home and left my mother and my dad. I know it grieved them so to think their only boy was dead. I fell in with an outlaw band, their names were known quite well. How many times we robbed and plundered, I could never tell. This kind of sinful living leads only to a fall. I learned that much and more the night I heard my master call. One night we rustled cattle, 1,000 head or so, and started them out on the trail that leads to Mexico. The northers started blowing and lightning flashed about. I thought someone was calling me, I thought I heard a shout. And at that moment lightning struck not 20 yards from me, and left there was a giant cross, and once there was a tree. This time I knew I heard a voice so sweet and strange, a voice that came from everywhere, a voice that called my name. So frightened I was thinking of sinful deeds I'd done. I failed to see the 1,000 head of cattle start to run. Cattle they stampeded were running all around. My pony ran and stumbled and he threw me to the ground. I felt the end was nearing, that death would be the price, when another bolt of lightning showed the face of Jesus Christ. I cried, oh Lord, forgive me, don't let it happen now. I want to live for you alone, oh God, these words I found. I would get past and folded, and I thought I wasted years, when another bolt of lightning killed 100 head of steers. As others rushed on by me, and I was left to live. The Master has a reason, life is his to take or give. Every right behind it there was I, afraid but safe and sound. I cried and begged for mercy, kneeling there upon the ground. A pardon I was granted, my sinful soul set free. No more to fear the angry waves upon life's stormy sea. Forgiven by love of God, a love that will remain. I gave my heart and soul the night the Savior called my name.
Sometimes we don't always see eye to eye. Someone gets hurt because of their pride.
Songwriting to me is a way of a release. I'll have an idea in my head and it'll worry me. And I have to just stop mostly whatever I'm doing and sit down and figure out what this song is trying to tell me. And it's given me a lot of enjoyment. It's taken a lot of stress from me. Back when I was really sick with my liver problems before I got my transplant, it seemed like the weight of the world would be on you. And I could take my guitar and sit down and do a song, and it's just like everything just lifted. And I get so much enjoyment out of writing tunes, but the biggest thrill I get is when someone asks me if they could record one of my songs. And to me, that's the greatest compliment anybody could ever pay me. And it doesn't have to be a major name band. If someone thinks my material is good enough for them, that's just such a joy in my heart that I just glow with it.
Now Mama was taken just 3 days ago, just out of the blue. God called her home to be in a portrait he'll hang on his wall with a caption that reads, "The world's greatest mom."
It was written about a friend of ours, and he was telling me about a friend of his, telling this story that his mother had died and he hadn't gone to any of the family reunions ever because Uncle so-and-so was there, Aunt so-and-so, and they didn't get along. And his mother told him, said, "You need to go." Said, "You know, you don't know who may not be there next year." So he didn't go, and sometime they had a reunion on Sunday, and then one day during that week, I don't know if it was 3 days or not, I just put that in. But she died. His mother died, and they got the pictures back in a week or so, and he picked up the one with all the people in it. He said, "This is the last one that I will never be in." He said, "Mama's not here. There'll never be another group picture like this, and this is the last family portrait that I'll never be in." So I came home and wrote a tune about it. It's a truthful music, and it's a music that's easy to understand. All you have to do is just listen to the words and the melody. You don't have to figure out what's in the background. Everything is up front.
I see pride is standing where I should have been, like the last family portrait that I wasn't in the last family portrait that I wasn't in.
While upon the Isle of Patmos, John beheld a glorious sight, a number which no man can number, praising God in robes of white. seems bluer, the day seems brighter, my heart keeps singing, my burden's lighter since I found Jesus. I'm not alone, 'cause in the morning I'm going home. In the morning I'm going home to a mansion that I own. It was paid for a long time ago on Calvary's mountain and Calvary's floor. I'll have no worries, I'll have no cares. When I walk up those golden stairs, I'll see my loved ones who have gone on. 'Cause in the morning I'm going home. In the morning I'm going home to a mansion that I own. It was paid for a long time ago on Calvary's mountain in Calvary's floor. It was paid for a long time ago on Calvary's mountain in Calvary's floor. One, two, three. Well, I remember very well a tale my daddy used to tell about old Simon Crutchfield and a friend. Now Mary was his pretty wife, and they loved every breath of life before they took O'Reilly Harper in. Now Simon plowed and worked the fields, and Mary cooked their meals, and Riley kept an eye out on the place. Still no one knew just when this episode came to an end. They only knew of Simon Crutchfield's grave. Mary Crutchfield, Crutchfield, you should be ashamed. Get on your knees and pray your soul be saved. Riley Harper, if the devil is to blame, why can't you drive by Simon Crutchfield's grave? In the year of 1864, a blizzard came across the moor, and all the crops were sold out, none was saved. And the only way to get to town was a wagon road that wound around through the woods past Simon Crutchfield's grave. Now some folks say that they lay there in peace 6 months or more before an old fur trapper found their bones.
That's all the time we have tonight from the Lincoln Theater in Marion, Virginia. We hope you've enjoyed an evening of fine harmonies and amazing talent, all from the place where it all began, southwestern Virginia. Join us again next time when we bring you more of the finest bluegrass and old-time music available on Song of the Mountains. I'm Tim White.
This program is made possible in part by the Ellis Family Foundation, promoting downtown revitalization through the historic restoration of the General Francis Marion Hotel. TEDS, providing workforce effectiveness solutions. The Bank of Marion, helping you achieve your financial goals and dreams since 1874, serving you through 15 community locations. And by Burwell Construction Company, serving the construction needs of Southwest Virginia for over 40 years. Additional support provided by grants from the Virginia Tobacco Indemnification and Community Revitalization Commission and the Appalachian Regional Commission.